Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Enthusiast Radio. Today, with me, we have a little bit of a divergence from the norm. We've got me, myself, Eli, but we also have Jonathan,
Hello there.
who reviewed Child of Light for us, and we'll be discussing that today on today's episode. And then we also have Shawn.
Yo.
Glorious Shawn Long, you, of course, know him from Week in Review. So, today we're going to be talking about Child of Light. All three of us have played it. Jono reviewed it. So, Jono, since you reviewed it, why don't you go do like a little quick synopsis of your thoughts on the game?
All right. Well, it was amazing, obviously. I mean, I gave it a 10. I thought not everyone will love it like I did, but it spoke to my depths, if you will. It was, like, the visuals were beautiful. And the way the music and the visuals kind of combined, it just made like a really beautiful world, and the combat especially. Like a lot of RPGs are kind of boring, I guess, to put it bluntly. But this one was fast paced and intense, despite being turn based and everything, and I loved that. And then there's the whole poem aspect. Like a lot of people did not like how they tried to rhyme everything. They thought it took away from characterization and what could have been more impressive dialogue. But in general, I thought that it really helped the game to feel more like a fairy tale, and it made it more magical, in my opinion. And really, I never found anything bad about the game. There was nothing I would really count off for. So it was one of my favorite games of all time, for sure.
Wow. So there you go. But for me personally, I agree with a lot of your points. I really, really love the game as well. I thought that the atmospheric nature of the game kind of made it like a fairy tale, as you pointed out, and that the combination of the music, the piano, which is so gorgeous, along with the visual art style where everything is hand-drawn watercolor, it's so beautiful, and it combines together to make this story that really is really engaging, and that's why I really liked it. In the terms of the rhyming department, I kind of have to agree with the people that thought it was a little bit crammed into the whole story, because at times, don't get me wrong, the writing was beautiful. It really fit together well with each other, but at times I also felt like the rhymes are a little weird and like a little off or really forced. I don't know, Shawn, did you feel that same way, or were you in Jonah's camp?
I kind of feel the same way. Like, it was a cool game for sure, but I don't know. I got bored with it, kind of.
You got bored with it? Really?
Yeah. Like, the main thing I liked was the little, I don't even remember the dude's name, the little light guy that you would shine on the enemies, and he would, like delay their attack and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know, like maybe I just like more conventional storytelling in RPGs, and that's why I was kind of lost at times with the game. I mean, it was dope for sure, but I don't know. I don't know. Like a lot of people loved it. I would say I liked it. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd recommend it for sure, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just me.
So, Shawn, do you usually play like RPGs?
I mean, I haven't really lately, but I used to play RPGs like crazy. I remember Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast. I actually stayed up for 27 hours straight and just played it and beat it. And I didn't even realize that like my mom had came to visit and was staying at my apartment with me, and she was staying in my room, and I was staying on the couch, and I was just, drinking energy drinks, and I was just playing it, and she came out, and was like, "Why are you still awake?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "It's morning already." I was like, "Word?" I was like, "Well, might as well just finish the game." So I like the traditional kind of Japanese style RPG, and this was different, but I mean, it was still good. But the problem with the traditional Japanese RPGs is they're so time consuming. Like they're great on handhelds, but for me, like consoles, I know I'm getting off topic, but like on consoles, like it's just tough because I don't have enough time. And I did like that about Child of Light because it wasn't super long to the point of where like you had to grind and level up your guys before you could advance, and it moved at a great pace, which was definitely a positive for me in the game.
Yeah, that's where I agree with you, and that's why when you said it was boring, I was kind of like a little surprised because for me, when I play RPGs, I mean, I love RPGs, and I'm having an editorial coming out about this soon, or it might already be out by the time you listen to this. But pretty much the reason I love Child of Light so much is it was kind of like a constrained experience. And a lot of people might complain, oh, RPG shouldn't be 10 to 12 hours. But in this case, it helped it so much because when I'm playing Etrian Odyssey through, there's a period of time in the middle where I might have to grind or every so often, and for several hours, I mean, it's so boring. I'm facing the same enemies in the same area again to level up and grind, and I mean, that's what I would consider more boring than, say, Child of Light, where for the whole duration of the experience, all the battles are keeping me engaged. I'm always having to think about what I'm doing because at any given point, if you're not paying attention to the battle or what's going on, you're going to be taking hits. You might die. And what I really liked about Child of Light is that when it came to the battle system, like um, between easy and hard mode, how much variation there is. But if you want to if you're having trouble with a boss or an enemy, like you need to get better. You don't need to grind, as opposed to other RPGs, Etrian Odyssey, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, where that's all you have to do. You go and grind in order to face the boss. So that's why I really liked Child of Light personally, because it kept me engaged. It didn't waste my time, and it I really had a blast playing through the whole game. So
Yeah, I
Oh, go ahead.
totally agree. I think it reminded me a lot of Chrono Trigger in that way because every single battle was intense. It was interesting, and bosses like never needed to grind. And like it's all about the skill. It was all about improving your strategy and becoming a better player. And that reminded me of classics like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. It wasn't about grinding. It was about getting better, and I love that.
I guess my boring statement was more just kind of like the story. Like I don't know, I never really got into it, and I guess that kind of somewhat hindered the experience for me. Just because I mean it was cool, it was different, but it wasn't really for me. So
And I
yeah,
mean, it's completely understandable. Like I was playing Kingdoms of Amalur, and that game is gigantic. It's supposed to like its land area is bigger than even Skyrim. It's got so much folklore and so much story in the game, and so many different plot variations. And I mean, those games are cool too, and they can exist. But I just don't have so much time to play all of them. And in the case of Child of Light, I mean, sure, the story it wasn't as in depth. It really was kind of a simple story if you really think about it. And we're not going to spoil anything, but the way it was told, more like the whole atmosphere of what was going on, was engaging. And I mean, if you think about it the way normal fairy tales are, I mean, how exciting really is, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, or Snow White. Like, how original are really those stories? It's when you start adding in the little caveats here and there, the little details that kind of enhance the story and make it exciting. That's when you kind of get this new engaging product. So in the case of Child of Light, sure, the story itself, it was very unoriginal, very like you could write it down in two sentences and you'd be done. But when it comes to little characters, like how they're talking, what they're thinking about, and all these little smaller details, I felt like that's what kind of made a Child of Light a little more engaging. So those are my 2 cents. You guys have any other closing thoughts?
Buy it.
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth the money.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are going to complain that it's not a full length RPG, but I mean, it's still 10 to 12 hours, which even at a retail price game is pretty good. And this isn't retail priced, and it's only $15. And you want to support Ubisoft, so pick it up and buy it. And because you want more experiences like this, people complain about annualized franchises. If Ubisoft sees that people are buying Child of Light, they're going to be more apt to giving developers a little more freedom in creating these smaller types of games. So. I think that's where we're going to conclude our little discussion for today. Thanks everyone for listening in. Make sure to chime in on your comments on Child of Light in the comment section below if you really enjoyed. If you maybe are in the camp of Shawn where you just think it's good, or maybe you don't even like it, which I really can't imagine why you wouldn't. And make sure to visit NintendoEnthusiast.com for all the latest features, news, and reviews.